behind you, and there's the Rift. We're going to get into game here. Game 2 of week 2. It's going to be day 2 here for the NA Summer Split. Lots of 2s all across the board. Make your wishes if you got them. Team SoloMid versus CLG. I think the fans are ready, Jap.
I absolutely agree with you. There was actually decreased hype for this game based off kind of COG and TSM's lackluster performance in Super Week.
Okay.
But I feel like with the win that COG had over Cloud9 yesterday and the domination that TSM had yesterday as well, I think the hype's back for this match.
They're bringing enough seats for everybody. If you don't bring enough chairs, then the train won't move. So if you can get everybody in and on board, it's going to be a lot better for everyone involved. Ward's coming out. Yeah, you would. Wild Turtle, or rather Double Lift, just trying to do that damage.
I think with the threat of level 1 Cho'Gath as well, TSM has the edge here at level 1. The Cho'Gath Rupture is greater than the TF Gold card potential if they were to fight each other. But they're not looking to be on a collision course. These level 1s are so tense because as we were talking with Hai, the teams haven't figured it out yet.
He explained that pretty well.
Yeah. There's a lot of buff warding going on right now and not much fighting.
It was kind of like last time we warded, but we didn't know where we came from, what was going on there. And that's what they did. And look at TSM's doing exactly the same thing. We didn't see them there. We're either going to fight or push them out or know where they are. So,
Double is trying to give him little love taps too. Like, get out of there, man.
That's like the second or third one now.
He's done a whole 100 damage to X Special.
Cumulative. All across the board. It's stacking up, man. It's starting to be AoE on single target.
And I don't think anything's going to end up with this. They managed to get the wards in on each other's jungle. Obviously, CLG, I'd say, came out on top of that because they were the... Or actually, sorry, TSM. Blair. TSM came out way on top of that because they were the ones to get wards on the red and the blue sides of the jungles. And also, this is allowing them to at least force Big Fat LP to use Smite on this one.
Oh, Wild Turtle coming in. Oh, my
Maybe
lord!
more.
That's a lot of damage right there. Big Fat, you got to run, bro. Dustbringer coming back on a Turtle, but he knows he can 1v1 here. What? 2v1 even. No, he flashes the card, comes out. Now he's just flashing the damage that also would have come from the jungler on that one, but he's still in the 2v1 situation. Almost one more shot. He goes the barrier down. Oh, no! Link's going to go down for first blood just a millisecond before it's going to be Lulu grabbing the kill.
Getting the kill back, though, after killing Link, is a huge play for Wild Turtle. They sucked in the pressure from mid lane. Double Lift and Chouster came down. That was essentially like a 2v4 where they traded First Bloods and only had the support, and the blue invades continue.
He got hit by the Q. That Q didn't really look odd one saying, yeah, that went to me. Tries to get it with the Rupture. A good ward keeps them safe on this one. And a very hectic level 1 coming in here.
Yeah, that was actually a brilliant smite by Big Fat LP, since the odd one was trying to Rupture and spike it with the smite at the same time. But Big Fat just actually smited right as the Rupture did damage, and he beat the odd one. Fastest smite in the West, as Big Fat LP has been known. He's stolen Barons and Dragons all over the place. So really clutch being able to not lose his blue after a very successful set of invades by TSM.
So Double Lift was able to get to lane, but this is really the first time we see that kill being able, or somebody buying after getting that kill. It's only a longsword, but that poke's going to be nice for Wild Turtle in the bottom lane as he's already getting a bit of damage scaling on it.
And until Wild Turtle can get back some of the levels, that longsword's not going to help him.
Right.
Because the amount of kind of stat gold that Double Lift gets is about 500 gold per level, so that longsword's not helping that much against Caitlyn.
Reginald actually already going back in mid. What does he have on him? Maybe it is tier already? Would he have that gold? Level 4 in 21 CS. Looks like he's actually just going for the next ring. He wants to just continuously Q farm this lane.
Yeah, that's a new Karthus build.
Yeah.
In the patch, by the way, you can start Doran's Ring 2 health potions because the cost of Doran's Ring went down. But this is the first Karthus in forever who hasn't started tier Catalyst. To me, this tells me Reginald might be going just like straight AP, but then his max mana pool isn't that big for Defile. I really want to see how that build develops now.
The other day, he definitely played it more of a death Karthus than Reginald usually would. It wasn't the wall to help the back line get safe. Wild Turtle was doing that himself, so maybe they are going kind of zombie Karthus aggression here and letting Wild Turtle fend for himself. He has Ezreal.
And also, Reginald's been a person to try to get more lane kills than anyone else, but the Oddrun actually has a nice Rupture on a Chouster and Double Lift, but the rest of TSM just wasn't there for the support.
Nobody moved in the bottom lane. Oddrun was like, hey guys, over here, ringing the dinner bell. No free kills.
Yeah, that was a matter of the lane being pushed in the wrong spot.
That's true. It was a big wave.
What's more important is I feel like Big Fat LP's gank attempt.
There's the Terry. Puts down the shield right away. Oh, he actually gets the flash on. No follow from the end, but he's low on mana, so could have been a walkout still for Dyrus.
And Yen had just burned his big cooldowns in the initial trade, so
Right.
there was no way they were finishing that off on Dyrus. Also because Nian has teleport instead of something like an ignite, so the amount of damage that they could deal in a gank is much lower.
Oh, Reginald, no spiders today. You're going to be able to hit those Qs. He puts it in the fire line. He's got a good choke on him, but there's your mana. It's all gone. Get the auto attacks out. Oh, can he get it? Link pull out the wild card, doing something. One more attack. But Reginald is going to lose his positioning in lane. That is the bottom lane. Double lift goes down. Wild Turtle was able to make up for those levels, and Special making the all-star plays to come up with another kill in that lane.
They landed the death sentence and then just went for it. Chouster actually didn't use his exhaust in any of that, and Double lift did go down. He was out farming Wild Turtle substantially, but gives up the kill.
I guess if you don't exhaust right away, hold it for the next engagement. A bittersweet action to have happen. 6 minutes in, a 2-to-1 kills makes Wild Turtle 2-1 himself. That's going to be huge. So we said it a few times. We did it in Mandatory Cloud in the spring season too. It's like he hasn't stepped up yet, and now he's just starting the train. He's got the keys.
Something happened last week because Wild Turtle had a very underwhelming Super Week, but he's been back to his spring split prowess right now because his games have been spectacular this week.
It seems like he's still pretty happy in lane. He doesn't even have a support or any vision coverage around him right now. But
yeah, but he's Ezreal.
Yeah, like I was saying, he's playing safe, so his confidence is just through the roof.
And he knows all the flashes are down for people that would also be trying to kill him since they just burned him in the previous engagement. So Wild Turtle's feeling very confident and comfortable now.
And CLG being pushed back here, I don't think they have to worry too much about a huge dive coming in. Well, maybe they might. They're up against odd ones, Cho'Gath, so a River Ward wouldn't hurt too bad right now. But they have almost zero coverage. Yes, Chouster goes to Ward now. Thanks, Chouster.
Thanks, buddy. I gotta say, though, Dyrus is doing a really good job against Nian in this lane. One of the big things is just Ignite for his teleport gives him more threat. He's up 20 minion kills, despite getting ganked by Big Fat LP. And Link's actually been in the side rush for a real long time, which is probably why the other one is focusing over, and that scares off Reggie.
Whoa, double lift. They wanted to get something really big there and just crush down this middle turret. They want to keep Reggie in mid until for this
Gank's coming top.
Oh, there's the ultimate. Unstoppable Force goes in, and they kind of just stack the crowd control. Will he be able to finish the kill? The last attack is going to go to Link. They start giving him the feed. Nian to go down from Requiem here.
That was a great trade for TSM. Flash Ignite ult burn by Link, and they still got the kill on DN, giving the assist goal to Dyrus as well. Plus, Reggie just got to sit in his lane and pull that off. Very good trade, 1-for-1.
Reggie, he used his flash before. Maybe he got out to do that, flash to do that. That's actually pretty funny. Wild Turtle just crushing down these minions before he can get to the turret. They need to start acting here. We see that CLG actually did just try to make a move instead of being whatever in the laning phase. Both Double Lift and Chouster were just mid real quick and got to the bottom lane as they laced up and ran back down.
Well, they kind of have to because this is not another one of these games. One of the first games where CLG doesn't necessarily have a vastly superior late game. With the Karthus, Jace, Ezreal just team that TSM has pulled together, it's pretty close.
Oh, so good. He gets it before they steal it, but they force it to go over to Big Fat, I think. Maybe they weren't going to give it to Link?
No, Big Fat had that. You're talking about the blue buff?
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Fat had grabbed that substantially sooner by himself there, but he's very behind in the jungle on
So
Nocturne
he just takes it for himself.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely. Because Link had been dead, as well as already having built the Sheen with the Crystalline Flask.
Just need to make moves.
Exactly. They don't want to risk getting that for Link. Plus, Big Fat wants it for the cooldown on his ultimate, since Link had already used his.
All right, so Unstoppable Force looks like it has about 30-40 seconds left in that top lane. Link, are you getting this red buff onto him or just getting some help out here? Maybe they are really trying to get Big Fat that much faster through the jungle.
I think they were worried about the roam from Dyrus and the Odd One because they didn't know after he left mid lane exactly where he was. They didn't want to get collapsed in and actually lose the blue buff that Big Fat had already just picked up.
So from what we're seeing, a lot of movement from Counter Logic Gaming.
Yeah.
And even just in reaction, right? If it's not working, it's not hurting them. They're there if it does, and they're there for the counter if they need to.
And they're losing
great moves.
A lot of their lanes, which is one of the reasons I feel like they're moving around so much. Double Lift, the only one who's staying ahead of Wild Turtle in minion kills. That's the Caitlyn versus Ezreal matchup.
Right.
Plus, it's because Wild Turtle went back and shopped right after that first blood. So in minion kills, they're beating Wild Turtle, but in gold, they're actually falling about 200 short.
This is one of those games that it's kind of switched over for Big Fat LP. He hasn't been able to aggress. Now, it's Nocturne, and obviously that comes with level 6, but we've only seen him really on Dyrus in the top lane.
And that was only to burn the flash. Like, COG put a lot into getting that kill onto Dyrus, and it hasn't slowed him down that much. They're putting a lot of resources, actually, into making sure Nian gets going. I wonder when Nian's going to pay that back by maybe teleport ganking somewhere.
A third tier being built up by Team SoloMid now. They know this game's going late. and they're going to go for the items that do that as well.
I feel like Nien and Big Fat want to gank Darius again, but this would be very difficult since Darius has flash up. They want a 3-man gank him right now, and you can tell Darius is sensing something since TF's cheating towards his lane, and Reginald recognizes that.
With
so
that, yeah, there's the
careful.
ping. With that view of now the odd one middle, it's going to have to happen. Darius gets hit up. He's going to say, you can see the look on his face. He's like, guys, this is going to be bad. Who are they going to give the kill to? Big Fat takes that one up for this time. Nien just getting the supports for the lane. That's going to help them.
Darius saying, come on, guys. What are you doing? And when you send that many people up to kill Darius, you're saying, TSM, please, we would rather kill Darius than have the Dragon. Now TSM's going to just pick it up based on 3 people being gone, and Link is going to try to get as much damage on this top turret as possible, but we'll see if that ends up working out for him, because it's a trade of gold in a sense. Even though TSM got a lot more for everyone, the gold that COG got was more concentrated.
Looking around, that Darius was able to get off of that Dragon, actually build a longsword, and then just finalize the Brutalizer. Easy to say. We have 11 minutes in here, 15. That was only 400 gold that was really able to get them back up over. So they were down there.
Not much change off of that trade. And Link has been actually fairly successful with his Twisted Fate ultimates thus far. I wonder if he's going to be able to transition into the late game. I know last match with ManCloud, he started off very well. He was 5-0, I believe, and then 6-1 after that.
Yeah, it was like double kill after double kill.
And then because the team didn't have initiation, they weren't able to finish that one off. But COG has plenty of initiation, so we'll see if Link can use that as a bit of a backbone for his initiations.
Just bopping each other back and forth. Yeah, not really worried too much about that right now. And it seems like kind of towards the end of the spring split, or even 3.8 patch has thwarted this for TSM, is that their whole idea about the jungle in the beginning was to get up that 400 or 500 gold, pressure so hard that the jungler really has to choose all lane to go to, which allows you to win your lanes, and they're actually forced to just go to the lanes here, so it's been a much slower start for them as well.
Yeah, it's somewhat at COG's pace right now.
Yeah.
Whereas COG's actually the ones doing any of the ganks. TSM sitting back and not necessarily generating the type of income they're used to when they're winning their big games. But there's still a lot to be decided here, and even turrets haven't even fell yet.
Kind of have them on the run around here, but that was good movement from Double Lift and Chowster. The wave, they now meet at the turret, so they're doing their strategies accordingly if they are trying to transfer around the map. Mid turret going down here, not much they could do. Big Fat was there with Link, but it was already too low.
And we said we wanted to keep track of Reginald's item build earlier. He started double Doran's, and then he's like, all right, guys, I'll do the tier catalyst build like everyone else. The Doran's rings were potentially for that early bit of AP when he almost got that kill off onto Link despite running out of mana. Would have been worth the investment, but now he's just going to transition into that Rod of Ages build that every other Karthus does. But he's got that little bit of extra oomph from the early 30 AP he gets from 2 Doran's rings.
And Dyer's getting bullied around in the top lane. You can hear chatter going down. I believe that was the Counter Logic Gaming squad just trying to chat it out with Chowster, allowing them to let them know what's going on. Wild Turtle able to be down here. Special wasn't there just a second ago. He's 9 over Special 7, so you can see how much focus he's been in that, or how much he's been in that lane alone.
Exactly, and now Twisted Fate trying to gank poor little Darius again.
Darius, not Kha'Zix this time. Can't get out of everything. There is Odd One picking up a kill for himself. This is going to be a walk-along chase here. These guys are just going to throw some rocks at each other.
And since all the attention was diverted top lane, Big Fat LP might be going bot lane for a similar gank if they can get something going. They're trying to win off distraction here, knowing the Requiem is down.
They have to be careful here. Wild Turtle just have that escape for himself, and he's playing it safe. He's against the wall. He's giving himself good outs if anything goes wrong. So you can see his positioning and even his cues. Just every time he gets the chance, he's harassing, he's hitting, and that's the reason Wild Turtle can win his lane so often. It's just always in your face.
And he's rushed that mana Mune as well, so it's not like he's going to be running out of mana anytime soon. Going a different route kind of to the blue Ezreal. A lot of times guys would do just sit on the tier with the Bloodthirster or go Lizard Elder, but with those recent nerfs to the Lizard Elder, it looks like Wild Turtle's trying something a little bit different.
Wild Turtle is not afraid to take turret shots for shots at all either. It sets up the gank for somebody else or just really makes that a softened up lane, and he does whatever he needs to. So good damage on the turret for the Odd One. He was hoping to get that one, and he may find himself taking a bit more damage than he wanted. But no, there's Darius.
And Darius at 1-3, but he's against an 0-2 laner. Interestingly, what's happened is every time there's a fight up top, the kills go to other people, and Darius and Nien are just instigators for that action. But this is Nien desperately trying to hold that turret. I think it's gone.
Yeah, that's going to get bullied out there. He can't provoke him off the turret. So 150 gold. That's going to be nice for everybody. And there, yeah, it's going to be lead. 2,000 gold lead finally coming in. Team Solo. Oh, Reginald Can't get the Qs to land. That spider really shook him up from yesterday.
Link is also really good at dodging those things. Even when he's slowed, he's able to predict kind of what Reginald's throwing up. Karthus Qs are something that people never land 100% of just because of...
And he's...
It's just a really hard spell to land, so if you're predictively dodging, you can dodge a lot. It's a big mind game with Karthus Qs.
And for the first few steps, if Link has his wave there, he's mindful of that. He's like, if I'm going to get hit, I'll take half damage, thanks. You know, he just walks right into the wave. So there we are, 15 minutes in, another turret goes down 2-1. That's going to be the first one for Counter Logic Gaming. The odd one again, right behind Reginald in mid. It couldn't be coined more. Reginald with that blue buff trying to stack up his tier. We do have the Spirit of the Elder Lizard coming out right now onto Wild Turtle, so not a super amount ahead. He does have 2 kills, but it is going to be good for that Blue Ezreal build so far.
Yeah, I think Doublelift will outscale a Blue Ezreal if it gets really late individually, but for now, it's actually the Ezreal lane shoving back the Caitlyn lane, which is a new experience, and it's one of the reasons COG's turret is kind of under a bit of duress. It
has been different. Doublelift definitely leaving lane more than usual, not being used as the split pusher he was yesterday in the game. He's definitely part of the team this time.
And unless, if COG holds to defend this turret, that means TSM actually gets the next dragon, so COG should actually go back right now so they can go and contest the dragon. Because if TSM gets that, it'll be the 3 turret advantage plus the global go from dragon, and COG might fall a bit too far behind.
Looks like Nian is going to be able to grab this top lane. They will have to focus on this. It's only a ward going down, so it doesn't look like they have enough vision to want to go for Dragon just yet. A back and forth shows that Nian can definitely trade with Dyrus right now.
Sunfire Cape is a big purchase for Nian right now, since Dyrus just has the Brutalizer, and that's not nearly enough penetration to cut through everything he has. As you can see, Dyrus doesn't really want to jump on him right now. Nian might just be trying to go for a solo kill. No ignite.
There it is, the stomp coming down. Oh, he just takes him out. The shard clears his HP out, and it's going to be the Requiem coming down. Does he live through this one? Yes, he does. Then they get the dragon. No, he doesn't get it. So many things just went wrong.
And that was another example, actually, of an auto attack finishing the dragon. So much damage went down. Big Fat did not get it. There no Janna Tornado in this game, but it was still secured for COG. Big plays there by Nian and the rest of COG to make those things sink at the right time.
You know what? Nian definitely upholding his comment of, I have the potential to be one of the best top laners with the chance I'm being given here. And you know what? Oh, damn, he is showing some great skill right now.
Yeah, it helps that Twisted Fate's ganked his lane about 35 times so far, and Dyrus is probably a little frustrated about that, but Sunfire Cape with the Malphite pick, he scaled up to the right point, and now COG's trying to hold back.
He's definitely giving Dyrus a hard time, not giving him an inch in the lane. He's like, I have an advantage. I'm going to press this advantage and put some interest on it. Ward not being seen in. You can see a little bit of aggression here. There's the ulti onto Reginald. They get him with the end just on the outside. Unstoppable Force is down here, so they're committing pretty hard for this fight. Reginald still up the shield. No, double it from the outside. He's got to be careful because he is sectioned off from the team. They're able to meet her on the outside, but low mana bars is going to cause CLG to back off.
Good kill there by CLG. Doublelift was coming up from the bottom lane. CLG is one of the only teams that uses their AD carry as a split pusher, which is one of the reasons Doublelift's farm is so consistently high in all these games. COG also felt safe about diving full on to Reginald since they knew his Karthus ultimate was down in that situation. So a nice repel of the push there, and despite COG being down 3 turrets to 1, they're completely even in gold.
They're still doing pretty well. Wild Turtle has his Infinity Edge coming out, looking to get that Zeal packed in next for some attack speed. So we get that Caitlyn scaling up around average time though. Ezreal looks to be a little bit ahead in items here as he's about to complete. No, he only has 160 gold. He's not completing anything anytime soon.
Not getting that stuff.
So it looks like it's going to be Team SoloMid to dictate the next fight. Where's Counter Logic going to go? Besides his top turret, they're starting to even that out too.
Well, this is why this game is so intriguing right now, because COG have been the instigators, and TSM are the ones that kind of know that they're going to get it if COG doesn't pressure much. So every time Link's ultimate is up and every time Big Fat's ultimate is up, they're trying to make these plays. Even Nian is making a lot of plays with his Unstoppable Force. They're not even syncing them at the same time, so COG constantly has the potential to make plays.
Heading down towards the bottom lane here. Link, does he have a ward on him? Is that what he's going to do? He does have a ward, but it looks like he's going to start heading top. Seeing that Reginald toward that top lane, they have ward coverage on everybody moving through the jungle here, as it looks like TSM putting down their own security system as they make their way through to this top turret.
Yeah, it's a bit of a 5v3 right now, and a lot of damage goes down to that turret. A nice little pre-push there by TSM, but this is leaving them open to a split push by Link. Twisted Fate's ultimate is on a 30-second cooldown more, but I feel like TSM has to react to this somehow.
And this is definitely different from last game. They're going for the offensively items for that turret push instead of the aura items here. So Link's going to be able to push down that turret a lot faster than they think. So Team SoloMid has to act on this turret.
And CLG actually is just going to trade inner bottom top turret for the mid lane turret. I always confuse the top and the bottom lane for some reason, but...
Well, it's the bottom of the top lane.
CLG can hold... I hate you, Riv. CLG can hold this next turret, and Link's push is going to continue.
All right, yeah, Link staying in mid, so the Lich Bane rush is definitely for knowing that Team SoloMid would try to just crush down these waves, use that Jace to get the poke on, and use the advantage of having range to clear out these siege the waves with the range, is what I wanted to say. So TSM trying to repair that in mid and clear this wave out as they regroup to find where Link went.
Yeah, real interesting pressure game developing here because CLG's fought back for a couple turrets there. 4-3 is a much more manageable turret trade game that CLG's been playing. Link's going to be still powering up that Lich Bane and will be able to continue to take down turrets. So although CLG, we're mentioning, usually uses Doublelift as a split pusher, you have a Twisted Fate. So if they're not using him as a split pusher, they're doing something wrong.
And they have the teleport as well, so they can really get, not the coin Dignitas tri-push on, but the very so often used Dignitas tri-push. We'll have to see if they utilize that. The teleports are up, the ults are up, so CLG could be looking to make a move here soon.
And speaking of CLG moves, Nian just picked up a Warden's Mail, which will build into a Randuin's Omen fairly soon. I'm thinking that what CLG is going to be trying to do, since Nian's going full tank Malphite instead of Magic Pen Malphite, is they're going to use him as potentially a turret tank if they can ever outnumber TSM and go for a very aggressive dive. Otherwise, they would use him for high amounts of burst because that's the way CLG's been playing. That's probably how CLG's going to try to come into things if they get opportunities, with Nian leading the way.
They have good constant damage in the fight. Usually you're worried about that turret dive to only have a quick burst, but with the amount of damage they can put in, that's going to work out quite nicely for them if they can find the right engage. 21 minutes in, so we're going to see those core items coming up here. The Muramanas, 2 finished at 21 minutes. Not too far ahead of the average, but nice and soon.
It's still a real powerful point in the game for TSM, and that's why they're pushing up mid. Interestingly, CLG only has 3 people defending this turret, but both of them could teleport in and defend. Once again, CLG is okay giving up their second-tier turrets as long as they have their inhibitor shell.
And this is that tri-push they were trying. They only have the 2 right now. That middle sector, not going to work.
Yeah, and CLG, I think they have to go back to base at this point. They don't want to give up that inhibitor so there's the Malphite ultimate coming in.
They're going to go in, but who can close that gap there? Big Fat going on to Reginald. He gets to the back line of the fight, and they're trying to hold them quite hard here. He's going to get the teleport in from Nian to save. Requiem goes down, and they're just trying to get the damage down right now. That could have been saved for the next fight.
That was very non-TSM-like. Reginald went in alone. Nobody followed him up right now. That was very strange for TSM. They didn't get the turret, they lost Reginald, and they lost their bottom lane turret with just forcing the teleport. That was a good trade for CLG.
I could have seen it working if they had the damage for the turret to go down, but right now, that blue Ezreal not going to be auto-attacking a turret down as fast as a Caitlyn would with an Infinity Edge, so they kind of mismanaged the damage there, I think. If it would have worked, that inhibitor would have been nicely there. So trying to regroup off of this, Wild Turtle getting back, it's now all about the Dragon.
We'll see if TSM can clutch something back here. No Reginald and no Reginald ultimate. CLG trying to man-mode this, despite being a little bit low and also down ultimates themselves, other than a soft
Ghost going out. The Ghost could thwart them off of this. Oh, they just give the help. Big Fat finds the smite, and they're going to be able to walk right out of this one.
That was actually a potential for CLG to engage on TSM, but they decided against it. CLG's been getting a lot of good things happening. I feel like they're coming up with slight edges in all of these split push endeavors. Don't know how much longer they're going to be able to do it for, though, because every time they're trading turrets, it's getting closer and closer for them losing those inhibitors. Their outer turrets for CLG are all pretty heavy, and Link trying to get down Reggie. I don't know if he can get it.
Oh, that pinched himself in the wall, flashes out, and the Requiem is down from last time. So real big plays coming in here from CLG, especially Link.
Especially that Lich Bane is like, I don't know if he can one-shot. Okay, I guess you did it. He poked the blue card, which, by the way, is the damage card, so that's how he killed him.
Our featured matchup of the day going head-to-head. One misses. Big Special trying to find Chowster, but the Oracle's over their head. Just too wise. They know to back out.
The support battle.
The supports.
Almost ending in
I'm surprised they didn't just sit there and destroy each other's pink words over and over.
It's usually what happens. The Vision Wars, so they say.
The Vision Wars all over. So Counter Logic trying to just cushion their lanes here, give themselves a little bit of padding to work with before they find any unfavorable engagements, which actually have been going in their favor right now. The last Dragon was theirs. They got a nice 3K gold lead as that ticks up to 38,000 even. And like you said, it looks a lot better that they're 5-4 turrets instead of that 3-0 or 3-1.
Absolutely, and this also means that the deeper TSM pushes in, the bigger CLG makes the map, the more advantageous it is for their kind of pseudo-globals. Link can cover about half the map, Nian can cover the whole map with his teleport, and Big Fat can also make things happen. So now when TSM wants to push up, they're separating themselves even more from CLG's split push. So this is actually a pretty good situation for CLG to be in right now.
And CLG has the fight window way sooner than TSM's getting it. We see Link's ultimate back up. Big Fat's up. Requiem, it's really close to being up, but that still had 30 seconds by the time Link's was up just recently.
Yeah, I feel like Reginald hasn't been able to get many blue buffs, which is why this Requiem cooldown is really hitting him. It's a 180-second cooldown at the rank 2 of the ultimate right now. And Reggie's still not even level 16 right now, which is a little bit uncommon for Karthus, who usually is able to sit in lane and farm up like crazy.
Right.
That's why his Requiem's actually been on very seemingly long cooldowns. It also means the pace of this game is very non-CLG. They're creating multiple fights during the windows of Karthus' ultimate being down, because Reginald uses Requiem when one of CLG's globals gets used.
Right.
But CLG has 3 globals, and they're seemingly using them very close to recharge in most situations.
See TSM also patting down their lanes. Nobody really making too many moves here. They're showing single hands, but not engaging on anything. 26 minutes in, the hard hats are on, and everybody's definitely playing in the extra cautious mode right now. They know both teams have the ability to sway a fight instantly.
And the AD carries are going to be getting scary soon as well. Doublelift has his Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer. I feel like once Doublelift gets his Last Whisper as well, he's going to be stronger than Wild Turtle just gets, period. Nian will maybe be able to shut down Dyrus a little bit in these fights, since his tank Malphite is getting real tanky at this point with his Randuin's Omen. And these team fights, if they happen, are going to be really interesting, because this game is super close.
So we'll look at the aura items coming out. Who's selfish, who's not, who's trying to help the team. The Bulwark for the odd one on that Shogath. He's been playing it quite well, and actually we didn't see from what's coming up on the jungler's scores too much from them in either lane, really. It was a bit of harass, it was a bit of leave, but it was all about the laning phase for these guys. But yeah, odd one coming in with that Bulwark. We don't see too much on Big Fat. He's still going straight tank mode.
And that's always what Big Fat's going to be doing.
That's what we said he was going to do.
I gotta say, with the Odd One, he's actually been avoided very well by CLG. The Odd One is usually one of the highest junglers in the LCS as far as kill participation goes. And him only being part of 1 of 4 TSM kills means CLG's working around him very well with their globals.
Let's see what kind of coverage they have right now. The entire line, including a ward in mid, to make sure there's no roaming left or right. Big Fat's there. He's not going to take too much off of this, but he makes sure he's shielded up and safe. You can hear the teams going. You see the teleport coming in from the end right now. They could get a good engagement down here. It's going to be the focus onto Dyrus. He flashes away, but still gets that Nocturne ultimate down. The Nightmare's going into Dyrus' head. He's seen this before. Ganked in the top lane. Ganked in the jungle. Feared across the map. And he goes down to the hands of Doublelift. They still engage the fight.
This fight is all over the place, Riv.
It's going to be Nian trying to get... Oh, the Death Sentence just missing the backside. So Ignite Burn cooldown there. Requiem is still up. CLG has to be careful. They're quite low.
Yeah, I don't actually think Reggie knows exactly how low they are. It was so interesting how they used the Twisted Fate ultimate to go on one and the Big Fat ultimate to go on the other. They're just like, they split their aces at that point. And they're just like, maybe I'll get 2 blackjacks. I'm not sure. I could have gotten 1 guaranteed kill. And they did get the 1, but it was a little bit touchy.
And you can see just how that vision is power, how many wards CLG has in that bottom jungle before the engagement and after. Pretty much helped them win that fight. Oh, Chouster. He's going to safely walk home on this one.
Didn't quite get burned. Lucky dog. That was very close to a great snipe by Wild Turtle, but you know, Chouster walks away like nothing's happened. It still hasn't died on the game. 1 for 2. COG's still building this up a little bit. Did get the Aegis onto Big Fat LP, so that'll help them against Reginald's Requiem a little bit as this moves on. And Double is still trying to work up to that big old Last Whisper.
1-1 and 3, really slow games for the AD carry. AD carries rather than really having them right now be a big impact in the game. Turtle has slowed down a little bit, but he is to that Iceborne Gauntlet phase, so it's really not about them trying to get into the fight. It's them harassing these fights and finding the HP bars at half before doing it.
And this is actually one of the better TSM versus CLG games I've seen, even with this new CLG roster. They're moving around the map in a super interesting way. So many times CLG has the double split push going on, and again TSM is trying to come in. They know the Malphite teleport is not up. Link teleport is, though.
This was the spot that went awry for TSM previously. Reginald flashed in. The Requiem's up for this fight.
Malphite!
They have quite a bit. Oh, there's a lot of damage coming in. Nian with a three-person unstoppable force. There's the wild growth to pop up even more. They're going to be focusing onto the back. Link is forced to flash out of this one, but he's getting good damage in and he's not getting focused. Turtle's been stunned up. They go down 1 for 1 on that. It's going to be 1 for 1 altogether so far until the next Requiem coming in. The 3 for 1 somehow after that. And it's going to be CLG on the run for TSM here.
And Nien flashed over a Rupture. CLG still wants to chase this one, but they're so low.
Nien's going to steal that movement speed with the shard. Oh, the Thresh Express to get him the Rupture for the save. Chowster's going to be able to speed him up in a second. Oh! The glitter lands for the kill coming from Chowster. They finally get one as they go coast to coast. It's only Odd One alive.
And because Doublelift survived that fight with such a small amount of health, he's life still up, and CLG might be able to go for this Baron. But the Odd One is on the hunt. He's going to have his flash up and his feast, so this could get even more interesting.
That was a crushing ult that Nien had onto the host. Big ultimate from Chowster, more crowd control to the fight, negated so much damage. This Baron will be huge. The Odd One is there. He's going to be turned into a little Gath. Can you get out? He can. He is safe for now. He's going to be eating a cupcake on the way in. Cho'Gath cannot get around. Oh, I'm a liar.
This is so touchy for TSM. Wild Turtle has his Ezreal ultimate up.
Whoa!
That Baron is getting lower and lower. Doublelift got him.
He just flashed over the Rupture. This is the second time Odd One's had his Rupture flash. Just not his day, but to the skies. Come on, if you want to jam, tell me. It's going to be Dyrus picking up the kill onto Caitlyn. They do not get the Baron. Big Fat's able to get that for his team, but they're going to have to run out and save face on this one.
Yeah, but these are 40-second death timers, Riv, because they got a 3 for 0. That's only Baron for 2, and everyone else on TSM is back up. Plus, when Nien landed that huge mouth ult in the previous fight, that was after the turret went down. So this could actually be a roundabout way of trading inhibitor for Baron.
Confidence goes along with curiosity and killing the cat, chat, and it looks like CLG has fallen into that bag. Couldn't find their way out for a second, but it was wet. They ripped open the sides, and now they're going to see what they can do. Now they're back into the world, back onto the Rift. 17 seconds for the majority of the team. We're going to see what they can do to stop mistakes like that.
I have no idea where that reference came from, Rim, but I liked it. All right, TSM's getting this dragon afterwards. It's still 5,000 or 6,000 for TSM. Doublelift picked up his last Whisper. Link in that fight, even though Nien landed a perfect Malphite ult, Link did not have a good time. When he I'm going way back in time here.
Oh yeah.
We're just gonna try to figure out the way the next team fight's gonna happen. Because when Link teleported in, he teleported in behind TSM because he was trying to assassinate the backline, since they couldn't necessarily walk through Reginald's defile and they didn't want to get poked out by Blue Ezreal. But as soon as he teleported in, Xpecial was waiting for him with a death sentence, and then Jace knocked him around. So he got completely screwed over in that last fight. And TSM will want to do that again now that they're trying to push their second inhibitor. CLG could just fight them again if they get the opportunity.
I think it was an understatement to say Nien's going tank on this. He's got another Warden's Mail, the Glacial Shroud on top of the Random Ones. He's got Link gets grabbed. That's some good damage there. These guys have home guards, but that means they're forced back to the fight. Wait a minute. No! It's going to be the Alacrity Boots. They go into the fight. Reginald getting hit up quite hard. Nien is so big, he's not even taking damage, but they're not focusing Reginald either. There's a lot of damage coming in still from him. The Defile, the Skittle still coming out. Odd One about to go down. Can't get on the Thresh Express. They're going to be able to chase down. And CLG with another huge initiation from Nien to carry this fight.
And this time when Link came in from the back, he got the assassinations.
Whoa.
That was such a great fight by CLG. Even though they were down an inhibitor, don't forget there was still Baron on 2 members of CLG, and CLG remembered how well they won the last fight, so they said, yeah, we'll do that again, and they pick up the clean ace, probably going to get an inhibitor back after losing their own mid one.
3 of the tankiest items in the game now on Nien Tanso, and he should not have died in that fight. I think to say that he was focused a little bit too much by Team SoloMid, but they didn't have anything else to focus. It's kind of like the old adage that Alex Ish says, you got to attack the closest thing to you, and Nien's making that happen.
Well, if Nien picked up his death recap right now, I'd actually think most of the damage would be from Defile, because when he ults in, he's got like Wild Turtle and Jace defenses. He does not have Reggie defense right now.
Yep.
Just the Mercury Treads for his magic resist items. If Nien picks up just a little bit of MR, since he's going with 438 armor when he has his W pressed, he'll be all right.
Getting that extra bit from his strikes. Turtle picking up the red buff. Like, you need some more slow on the Iceborne Gauntlet. He's going to get his Lizards. Be happy about that. So just slowing down the game a bit here at 35 minutes. Everybody's home guarding out of base, so I don't think slowing down is a factor just yet for these guys. But that 57,000, 57.5K gold to 50K. So that lead definitely in favor of CLG, but TSM is not letting it show in the fights as much. CLG is finding out that they're up in gold, though, through these fights.
And this is when we kind of talked about pregame, how TSM actually had a better late-game team comp than CLG, which is why TSM is still trying to push up like this. That 7,000 or 8,000 gold is partially neutralized just by having Karthus and having Jace.
That's true.
But then it's getting neutralized back because Nien's been able to pick up the gold for these big items. Doublelift has individually outscaled Wild Turtle. Link has more items than Karthus, so they're making up for it in these ways and executing in the team fights based off of their gold advantage.
Have to see if they can synergize their ultimates. We haven't seen too many good, not good, but True Shot barrages really crush down the team. That's an 800 damage nuke for him right now, and that's going to be hitting good if Dyrus can get Black Cleaver stacks off of those Shock Blasts. So TSM is kind of, you know, prepping their fights with small moves. There's a Shock Blast from the side. They're not really given any chances on this one.
They got a whole bunch of armor to shed on Nien. They're also, notice how TSM's trying to, we're going to spread out a little bit this time. I feel like Nien plus Lulu has been dealing a bit of hurt to TSM in these fights, and since CLG is still down this inhibitor, there's no pushing back on TSM right now. So unless CLG initiates hard again, this CLG team isn't going to be leaving their base until that inhibitor is back and the super minions have stopped spawning.
And you can see where Nien is positioned. He's on that corner, just waiting to diagonally strike the team over the side of the wall from the base. And there's the wall going down. They don't want to initiate that. Nobody's going to be able to follow up on the team. They may want this, though. Dyrus very close with Wild Turtle. If they can get those two locked up, all the damage, it's exactly what they want.
Because Doublelift has hit those 4 items that he goes for every game. And when Doublelift gets to that point, he becomes even more scary. Plus, he's got a heal, which is very clutch against a Karthus ultimate. If the end of a fight is going on, he can save multiple people with that. Very interesting summoner spell choice, and an underrated late-game summoner. That is the heal.
Lemon Nation talks about all the time. He loves that spell for the team. We're going to see what they can do. Like you said, Doublelift with those 4 items. It also builds the confidence. The amount of risks he will take as an AD carry to start to, you know, increase as you get those items under your belt.
And TSM's trying to go back for this inhibitor once again because they know CLG was kind of back shopping, but Nien charged up his home guards and he might charge in. Link is low on mana. Here comes the fight.
Flash from Link, the ultimate going in, but he locks him up before he can even ultimate. No, he finally still gets it off with a cooldown. Wild Turtle gets exploded right away. Great job by Nien. He goes to the fight. The Wild Growth goes off as well. TSM getting shredded down here, and it looks like CLG is going to make it out with fortified health bars on this one.
I feel like Nien just goes back to base and he's like one of those old Hot Wheels cars where he just charges himself up and then shoots himself into the enemy team. And it's working again and again. Every time TSM tries to get a big building objective, CLG's punishing them for it, and this time they might get the inhib back.
Man, sometimes you just got to bring out the original Wombo combo.
So good.
It's so good. Malphite just coming in so strong. He hasn't even really seen a lot of bans either in the summer split, but I think people are going to start utilizing that. Obviously, it's with this comp. It's with that range initiation that they have. But damn, he did start to come up big, and the way he's building is to completely carry the team with defense.
And this has been one of the consistent things that CLG's been doing with Nien, is he'll kind of survive the laning phase, and then he'll be awesome in team fights. And that's not to take away from the rest of CLG, or even the closeness of this game, because Link is coming in from the back. They're finding very interesting ways to work around the Karthus. Doublelift didn't even have to burn his heal. No one got to Doublelift in that fight, and they're just going to be able to buy even more items. Not forget, Doublelift's 8-2 right now. We know he's going to outscale Wild Turtle, and he's showing it with his kills and his build.
And we have to remember in the beginning of this game, Link did a lot of work up top. They knew Dyrus was going to be a threat on Jace. They took out the Shen, and then they took Jace. They were like, all right, if we're going to give him one of his top champions, we're going to make that hard for him. But that's what they need to do for Nien right now, is he's still growing in that role, is give him a kill, and then he will take it from there.
And this is kind of a breaking point for TSM as well, because the Baron is up once again with an inhibitor down for TSM. One thing about these fights for CLG, though, is they're able to go through TSM instead of TSM cornering CLG into a spot. If CLG is trying to do a Baron and TSM comes in with a good Reginald Defile, they could very well take back control of this game. But that gold lead has been growing up to 11,000 now.
So we see the items. The Zanya's onto Link. We have not seen him initiate with that, however, in this fight. We know he does have really the strength to do that. Link is a player that will make that move, but it's really been the initiation with the Nocturne out with the Nien. I don't know if they're going to try and fade away from that to get just the initiation with the Zanyas.
Man, what's been happening?
They have so much.
Nien goes in, and when all the distraction is happening, Link will go in from the back. The last fight was actually Link going in at the back. Everyone got crowded around to Zhonya's, and that's when the Malphite came in.
Right.
So they can do it in multiple different ways. Huge tank coming in from Big Fat LP. He's just kind of there to help out with Malphite and everyone else. And TSM hasn't shown a distinctive answer for that yet, but this is another one of those games where inhibitors have been traded. So anything could happen. The team that lost the first inhibitor was the team that was up in gold.
And you can see another lull in the game here. CLG's been kind of ready to act on anything. Reginald's ult just came up, but we mentioned it before. That Terrify coming up from Nocturne, or rather Terrify, his Paranoia, and Link's ultimate come up a lot sooner, so they're able to engage, and they're showing their aggression.
And where CLG positions is so key at this point. They can't fight in the tight corridors where Defile takes up everything. And if they initiate, they have to be very careful. Plus, Link's ultimate is down now since they did not get the clean initiation. That's for another 80 seconds. CLG has to be a little bit careful because they can't get that backline control. If TSM managed to find a fight of Baron here, it might be their chance.
TSM have completely full summoners. Same thing on the other side. It actually flashes down for Nien, but that's not going to hurt him too much with the Unstoppable Force initiation. CLG waiting in the fog of war now, trying to play some tactical tricks onto Team SoloMid, but both teams are just reading it right now.
They're really playing this tight because they know at this point in the game, any fight could end the game, especially when both teams have exposed inhibitors. And with how much armor Nien has, even if CLG didn't have creeps in the base, they could just tank up turrets and try to finish.
Right now, 11 minutes ahead of the CLG average for a game. And on that summer solstice, like we said, they're at their maximum power and potential here of gameplay. 7-6 in turrets. They're always keeping that countered in the one turret deficit. It looks like they're going to continue to poke that Baron.
And the minion waves are somewhat overwhelming the TSM base, which means if TSM wants to fight, they have to fight now, and they have to go quickly.
Link's holding the yellow card for the outside. They're able to lock down on the odd one. Paranoia goes down to try and lock it out. Baron is taken by Nien. The Unstoppable Force right to Wild Turtle, right to Dyrus. They're able to throw that back line away, but the odd one coming up big with the team. There wasn't enough gap close focus to follow up with CLG this time.
And it's about the positioning of the fight. CLG could not get through Reginald's Defile. That was a 3-for-1, and now they're making runs for each other's bases.
Wild Turtle, oh, it's just a gold card, explodes out. Wild Turtle.
Link is just a man right now, shutting down this TSM push. Can he get 3 by himself?
The X-Men may have a new member after this one.
And oh no, Double Lift is in the base trying to end. There's only a Cho'Gath coming back. Could CLG win it here?
There's odd one coming up. He gets the rupture. It's going to be netted out. The 50 caliber going for the turret. There's 1-2 shots. He's going to keep reloading. He's got the second clip in. Double Lift's going down on it with Baron. Wild Turtle throws his hands in the air. They take the headphones off. It looks like he's going to be able to get it. Link's just on the backside coming in to help, and it's going to be Double Lift.